everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you this new product from the Stamps of Life. It is the Collage Slimline Drop-In Die. So it comes with this die as well as some layering pieces that you can put in these individual squares. So you see that you have these two squares are the same size. I should say these are actually rectangles, these first two, and then this square is much larger than the two here. Now this is a drop-in die, and what does that mean? It means that you need another die to cut this out of your cardstock. So this right here is the layering piece from the rounded corner slimline die set that you would need to layer over top of this die in order to cut it out. Now if you had the straight edged layering piece from the initial slimline card die set that the Stamps of Life released, that would work as well. But I am using the rounded corner layering piece because my drop-in has rounded corners. So in order to cut this out of the cardstock, you need both pieces. If you just use this piece by itself, it's not going to cut anything out of the cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of my Strawberry Stamps of Life cardstock, and I am going to layer these pieces just like you see here. And I'm also going to add some washi tape. So what I want to do is make sure that this drop-in die is centered within my large rectangle die. I don't want to have it further up to the top because then when it's die cut out, the cut is not going to be even. You're going to have more space here than you do at the top. So just make sure that it is centered the best that you can get it centered, and make sure that it is straight so that your squares and your rectangles die cut perfectly straight. I am going to add some washi tape, and then I will run that through my die cut machine. So when that comes out of the die cut, you get this piece with all of these boxes cut out. Now these pieces I'm not going to use. Now if you wanted to have a layering piece behind that, you would take your large rectangle die and you can die cut a piece of cardstock to layer on behind that if you wanted to do it that way. And then you can also take these dies that came with this die set, and if you then wanted to take it a step further, you can always die cut some pattern paper to go inside here. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently, and I actually want, I'm not going to be using these layering dies. Instead, I want these squares and rectangles to be cut out of pattern paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pattern paper and just put it over top of the opening of those individual dies. So I'm going to be doing a few different colors. So I have some yellow, some green, and I'm also going to be doing some blue. And just when you turn that over, because this paper has a specific pattern on it, just make sure your pattern is going all of the same direction and that it's straight, and then run that through your die cut machine. And when that comes out of your die cut machine, you have these really fun patterns that you can just pop right in to the middle of these. Let me turn it this way so you can see, of these openings. Now then, if you wanted to take it a step further and then use those layering pieces, use these layering pieces to die cut some more paper, you could do that. These, obviously I wouldn't use this color, but then you can go through here and you can add some layering pieces right on top of that. But I am not going to be using those today. So before I go any further, I am going to take my large slimline die set, or slimline card base die set, and I'm going to die cut a piece of ginger snap paper. This is going to cut the card base with the rounded corners, as well as give me the score line to fold this in half. So when that comes out of your die cut machine, you have your card base and just fold it at the score line, and then this layer could be placed directly on top of here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down to my card base. I am going to be incorporating this stamp set, which is the Tacos to Stamp by the Stamps of Life. I will be using the large taco, the guacamole, which I've already colored off camera. So I've colored one for guacamole, and I have another one here that I'm gonna use almost like a bean dip. So you can see the difference in the colors there. And I'm also gonna be using the little smiley face. I wanna go ahead and put a little face on this taco. So I'm going to ink up my smiley face and put that right there in the middle. And I was just laying everything out just to see where I wanted everything to go. And I'm thinking, I haven't glued anything down yet, but I'm thinking I'm going to put one of the bowls up here towards the top, one here towards the bottom, and I'm going to have some sentiments on here. So I want to make sure that where I position these beans and guacamole that I still have enough room for those to be positioned on the card. So I want to make sure that it's stamped in exactly the place that I want it stamped. So here I'm going to put one of the little nacho chips in the bowl, so it's going to actually have to be stamped a little bit higher. This one I actually cut off some of the white area of some of these nachos, and I think I'm going to do the same thing to this one just to give me a little bit more room when I'm placing my chip in the bowl. Yeah, that definitely gives me a little bit more room there, and I just need to figure out where exactly I want the sentiment. So I'm thinking that that would be about right. This one will be able to go completely centered. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp these out. Have a fantaco birthday. So I'm thinking we'll do it right at that second yellow line will be about right. So if I place it centered along that second line, it should be good. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and start adhering these pieces. And with the chips, I'm going to adhere them first to the bowl, and then I will add them to my card. Now I also die cut the piñata die out of the Piñatas to Stamp out of kiwi and banana cardstock. I did put some kiwi ink around the edges of this one and banana ink around the edges of that one. And I'm going to add these to my card. And I'm going to put the opposite color center in the middle. And that completes this card. So I love how this drop-in, you can actually put different images in all of those. You can actually put different pattern paper and just make a really fun card. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.